Oh, that is Facebook. Lofi. Just got a little hat on. How did they change it midstream? Because the stream constantly goes, right? So how do they like... Oh, I guess it's the same as me doing an OBS, right? I just change over what's there. I'm not actually ending anything or restarting anything. Didn't really think about that when I said that question. First, it's a stream. Wait, did I actually not write stream? Oh no, I thought I actually misspelled it then. You know, something I've discovered is my bell. I don't look like I've lost too much weight, but my bell, I can actually wear out. This is a new bell, and it was large. It was small, medium, large, and extra large. And I used to wear like an extra large, so I went down to a large, thinking that'd be fine because my extra large is way too loose. The large, I can actually go all the way down to the last hole. I can go down to the last hole, which means I can actually fit into a medium, probably, if I bought one. And I was like, ooh. I told my mate the size I've gone down to. Because I almost was like a 38 in waist. Now I can fit into a 32. And he was like, what? I was like, oh. He was like really shocked. Let's fix up all the chats. Why is it so high up? Type something else moderate. Oh, jeez, that music's really loud, isn't it? Oh, there you go. I went for a walk on my treadmill this morning, going to do it every... Yeah, I kind of wish I had, like, a treadmill. I kind of want, like, those... Can't you get those, like, really small ones where they're only like this... Maybe like this... I can't even get in camera. Maybe like this big or whatever, and basically you just got to keep with it, otherwise you'll fall off. But they don't have a forward stand or anything. They're literally just like a floor one. Actually, I kind of want to look it up now after saying that. Let's have a look. I like how we're instantly not even doing 3D. My dad's girlfriend has a mini one without a stand. Says, oh, right. And so
at the end of the day,
I hate autoplays. I don't know if you can change it, but the fact that like the front of Twitch sort of plays. Yeah, I think I want one if it's not too bad. If it's maybe like £200, maybe I'll consider it. But above that, I think it'd be a little too much. Excuse me. Oh, wait, I should have kept the... I can put that out. So I should... be able to go into here now. It's a lot of, like, sort of... Oh, wait. Is it already working? Oh, sweet. As long as I get the tab up, it should automatically work. Oh, that's awesome. It's a white background right now, so it's very hard to see that writing anyway, but... Mini treadmill, should I write? I'm not signing, so you shouldn't see any of my details. It's kind of like that. 329. Oh my god. That's pretty much because I could literally put that there and then slide it under my bed or something when I'm not using it. The convenience. I obviously can go out for a walk as well, but the convenience is definitely high value. I'd see 169. That could work. Only 4 stars though. That's relatively big. What is that? What? Mine weighs a butt ton. That's fine. I don't mind how much it weighs. Mini trip. Oh, it folds. My money don't jiggle jiggle. It folds. So I guess with these, you can actually take off that stand anyway and just use it like a smaller one. But I legit want a small one, you know what I mean? Like 209, that's pretty good. Again, though, 3.8 stars. What's wrong with them? I don't want to run on it. I just want to walk. Hello, sir. I want make animation, but not for character. Okay. What do you want to make the animation for? We'll have a look in Blender. That's good. 3.8 stars again, though. We're looking at treadmills. Because I want one for my room. Quite wide, but it's the distance I kind of want. Wow, that's actually looks way bigger when pushed up against the wall. I mean, it shouldn't be the length of my bed, which means it can go underneath it. They get bad reviews because they don't go fast for a fast run, I believe. Also, you want wide as well. True. Exactly, what should I search for? Oh. So, wait, what do you specifically want to make? Like, are we talking... Because you could change depending on what you want. If you're just trying to animate, for example, a gun, but it's interacted by a player, like, bang, and then... whatever he does. Like, kind of stuff. Then obviously you just... then again, that's also got character animation. That's not just a gun, so maybe you're not looking for something like that. If we're looking for vehicles, that's very different, because sometimes you'll have the vehicles actually programmed in a certain way so that the hydraulics will work, so it does kind of the animation for you. Obviously, if you're just looking for very basic animation, like you're looking at moving small objects like this, and you're not... Oh, sorry. Probably only be an hour and a half stream today, unfortunately. I had to look after dogs for a while. Beautiful girls here. Oh no. Look away, children. Where have we got? Oh wow, deleted it so fast. Can I block him from my channel? Your hide user in this channel. Report. What? There's not a... Oh, unwanted content spam. I was gonna say, there's not spam. I did a mod thing. Nice. I want to make parachute animation. Oh! Is this in-game or is this in, like, Blender? Because I was about to say, like, if you just want to do simple animations, you'll be like this. Move this across to here. This. And boom, you've got a... Why didn't that work? Oh, it did. Got a simple animation. Whoa. So if you want parachute, you're looking probably for a simulation. In-game, yeah. You're probably looking for simulations then. That's honestly a really hard one. Because what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make the parachute. So let's just do like a simple one. So you're going to want like a parachute, right? No, that way around. Oh, I did that in too weird of a number. Hold on a minute. Like this. So you might not be doing this type of parachute, but this is just to demonstrate. How do these usually look? I'm trying to think now. They usually... My brain. How do these usually look? Like this. No, that's terrible. Let me look at a parachute quick. Parachute. My brain apparently can't think of a parachute right now. Okay. Right, so we'll just keep the basic shape then for now. So we've got this, and we've got like a parachute, right? So let's say that's the basic shape of your parachute. It obviously could be 3D if you want. And then you can have like these parts, sponge it out a bit. Oh, am I on individual? That'd be why. Wait, no, I want it to be individual. Hold on a minute. There you go. There you go. And we've got like sort of like a parachute shape, right? Now... Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Do you mean like of it being deployed? Because if you're talking just like it coming down, what you'll need is basically just this. And then in the engine, you won't be animating it. You'll be attaching it to a character. And then it will just be going down as the character moves, right? So you won't necessarily be animating it. And then you'll apply some soft bodies or some cloth physics in engine. Immediately, you can also do a material thing where like... Let me get you before I open. Wow, come on. I don't like the Epic Launcher. It's so slow. Especially when you're trying to play games. I don't mind it for like Unreal because I'm like, oh, it's a developer tool. I feel like I should be waiting for stuff to load. Like I'm still loading for the library right now for Unreal Engine. There you go. But when it comes to games and they take a long time to load, I'm like, Steam is so streamlined in comparison. Have I got like a blankish project? I'll just use the water shader map. Deploy in specific. Oh my god. Well, now that's a very difficult one. Again, I feel like you have to simulate that, but you'll probably simulate it in Blender, then bake it out. I have no idea how you'd do that, honestly. You could. I mean... Parachute deployment blender. How to make a parachute blender first tutorial? This can't be a deployment, surely. No, this is just making it. It's a very like the thing is, just the thing you're recommending, lots of games you won't even see very much because they won't put detail into it because it's so high up into the sky. Hey, Finboy55, didn't even realize you said that. True. Yeah, it's the way I could think about it is you simulate it, obviously, in however you need it done, so it'll be compact, and then basically you'll use a wind. From what I believe, you'll use a wind component to shoot it out, and then you'll let it open itself up as it's being pulled by another object, and then you bake that simulation out into, and then you take that into UE5, and then after that's baked out, you basically you swap that animation out for then the normal parachute that will have a cloth simulation on it. It doesn't need a cloth simulation. What you can do, which I'm about to show in here, ignoring my water shader. I still haven't finished this water shader, or at least the updated version is over here. Yeah, it's getting there. Oh, yeah, Giz has already showed if that's looking more what you like. So, parachute simulation in Blender 3D. The problem is he might not show you how to bake it out into engine, so you might need a little bit extra to figure out how to do that. But if we get like, I don't need a plane. Have I got a high poly plane in here? Yeah. High poly. Man, I always need a high poly plane, and I always lose where I put one. New file, new. Get rid of you. Actually, I should have just kept the shape I had. I could have shown you with that. Silly me. So let's kind of look like we've got the shape again. So I'll pull this up. Just do something like this. So we can even pull this part up in the middle and do this. Cool. And we've got a generic shape, right? Times up by 4. And we're going to make it high poly. We don't necessarily need it this high poly, but I'm just going to sort of exaggerate the effect. Put that into desktop. Go parachute. Desktop. What are the platforms that you are streaming on right now? Twitch and YouTube. So,
Drag that in. Import. Last question, sir. Let's assume you want implement suspension physics in suspension physics. So that'd be done through programming and through basically just some of the physics engine side stuff in the engine you're using. Now that would depend if you're using Unity, Unreal, CryEngine. Some of them have more stuff that basically holds your hand. Some of them have it so you have to completely do it. That'll definitely be something you have to look at. I can't really tell you. One, I don't really know how to do that because I'm just an artist. But two, you'll definitely need a tutorial on that. It's kind of easier to do in something like Blender, especially if it's a set animation, because you could program it to have fake suspension that will be baked out. But if you're doing it in engine, you basically need the engine to tell it when this wheel goes over a lower z-axis, it will bump down the car, or it will make the wheel go down, and then you'll tell the car, if this wheel goes down, rotate in this action, and it basically will do that for all 4 wheels and give you an effect of suspension. Yeah, there'll be a lot of stuff on YouTube on it, but that's sort of the gist of how it would work. I'll quickly want to show this before you leave, because it's a cool thing you can know. We'll just go cloth, because you can, which a lot of people probably will do, because cloth simulations are quite heavy in engine. If you set up a basic material with a noise, and you set that up to your multiply, and you set that up to a vertex. Nope. Vertex normal. Hey, little boy, how's it going? And you put that into here. Now, you should also set this up to a time to make it move or a panner. But because it's technically moving, you might not need to. So if we leave that this, we actually need to set it up to a higher multiply. Let's say 10. So it's kind of like doing grass in a way, but should make this move. Cool. So you see that spikiness? That's kind of what we're looking for. If I go into the noise and preview it, you'll see it's like really deep noise. We don't need that. We want it to be way, I can't remember if it's smaller or larger. There you go. So probably something like this. Yeah. We want to turn down the levels to maybe 2. Kind of. We want to turn that down to 0. Yes. We want to turn this to probably one of these. No. Is it that one I want? No. Fast gradient? We'll just use this one for now. That should kind of work. We'll give it a basic color. I actually did this not too long ago in the project I'm doing at work. I'll give it no roughness. Click apply. Working on the same old things. Wait, there's something new. I'm trying to do arm workouts to work on my archery skills. Oh, wow. How are you doing? Pretty good. Okay, so first of all, the scale of this is way... Wow, I also made it shiny by accident. I wanted to do reverse. 1, not 0. Well, you want to make it scaled a lot less. I don't know if that's too less now. Now, you'll kind of need normal setup with this as well, as you can see. You're not getting the normal effect. But for now, that'll kind of work. And as you move it, let's make it a bit stronger so you can see it. Let's go like 30. If I actually add this to the color, you'll see it a bit more instead of relying on normals. I think. This is a very, very, very basic way of setting it up. I'm just showing you that you can achieve an effect. So that's obviously very strong, but as you move that right, it will simulate kind of like the wind hitting it. Oh, it's two-sided. Make that larger scale, like a 0.2. I'll tone this down to have... We want to what? Divide it or multiply it? Clamp it? We want to clamp it. Or only get down to like 0.5. That should work. Boom, boom, boom. What else do I want to do just there? Oh, two-sided. Two-side. I remember I bought your water pack to check it out and learn your tricks for my own stylized water. Great asset. I love playing around with it. Thanks. I actually am trying to update it. As you can see here, I'm obviously working on it. I want to... So this is the old one. And you've got these like... I don't like this one as much because it's got this like cut out effect. It looks kind of nice. Depends what you're going for. But we've got this new one here. Where it's a lot more smoother. And... you can adjust how many lines you want. So if I want 8 lines now, I can adjust that, and you can, if I can click and drag it, look. So you can have loads of lines coming off it, or you can have very few lines. The only reason I haven't released it yet is because it doesn't blend very well with the beginning foam. I want this foam to kind of look like it's detaching more instead of just coming over the top of it. It connects with these foams when you get these random bits, like these random foam spawn. If one spawns near the actual foam edge, you'll see it'll connect to it in a very cool way. Can't actually see any examples right now. Yeah. Basically, it'll connect to it and look like it's oh, there, you saw it just then. And it'll look there, and it'll actually connect to the foam, and that gives it a really cool effect. Is that apple soup? That was apple soup. Looks like a fried egg. It is a fried egg. But yeah, that's the... As soon as I can get a good way of it blending with this one as well here, I think I'll say we're done with it. Anyways, so looking at this, right? So again, we've got a kind of over-the-top coloring. It's fine. When you move that, look, it gives it like this effect where it kind of looks like it's being pushed by the wind. I can make it stronger still. 100. Oh, I want... That's why it's doing that. If we add... 1, there you go. Is that 3D texture or something? No, it's just like... Oh, okay, I've got it a bit too strong now, but you'll see the effects as it comes down. If you find a sweet spot, you'll get it to kind of look like it's moving with the wind. So if you've got it attached to the back of a player, and he's been coming down, you'll see it will move. See that? Wobble, 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 wobble. It'll look like the wind's pushing it as it's coming down. And that's literally just being done with some world displacement and a noise map that's telling it to move up and down in those gaps. So it's a much cheaper way to simulate wind hitting your objects, because a cloth simulation will be really expensive. And you can technically put that noise on a panner, but because this will constantly be moving, you don't necessarily need to do it, because this will never sit stationary. If it was sitting stationary and had a panner on it, it would actually move. But you wouldn't technically need that, because it should always be following the player down. So it should always be moving, causing it to make it look like that noise is moving. Again, I've got it a little too... I should scale it up a bit more. I mean, if we were to fix it, I should reduce the strength on this a little bit. Scale it up even more. Looks like a brain. It does a little bit, actually. The color really didn't help. I see that. Now we've got a much smoother transition. In fact, it may be too smooth. You can barely see it moving. Yeah, it might be a little too much. Maybe I need to go 120 on this. But that's the beauty of doing this kind of stuff, is you will play with it until you get to that sweet spot where you get you get what you're looking for. Uh-oh. What did I do? Oh, no, it's fine. Oh, what? It's gone a bit too bumpy again. Again, you'll find that sweet spot. That's actually closest to what we're looking for. But yeah, that's just me sort of showing that you don't necessarily need to go with the cloth simulation direction, because there will always be more optimized ways to do it. Because imagine 100 players coming in and you've got a cloth simulator, or 100 AI coming in with parachutes. You've got a cloth simulator on each one of those parachutes, right? Hey, ninjutsu. I guess you could do a texture from the outside and multiply it with the noise so it keeps its shape around the... Oh, true. Yeah. You could do lots of different things, because if I unwrapped it around an actual UV, I could always do a gradient from top to bottom and left and right and do the same thing there to keep its shape. Lots of different things you could do. But yeah, what I was saying is, imagine 100 people coming in, 100 parachuters coming in, paratroopers coming in your game, and you're simulating 100 parachutes with cloth simulation. Your game will go to like 5 frames per second. Like, so it's good to find optimized ways to achieve those effects. Despite what people think, I know UE5's basically boasted that, like, you can have unlimited detail in certain areas. You will still suffer with stuff like simulation. Like, that's just a given. Hold on a minute. This isn't my updated version. Oh, was it an autosave I recut? What? What saves? Today, 9th of December. That's probably right. That one. Well, there you go. Huh.
Let's save over the one I got on my desktop. There you go. So I don't know if I necessarily want the nails in it yet. Maybe I should. I could technically put the nails in it. Yeah, no, that doesn't work for everything. Well, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it, Finn? It's like... But that's not only the problem. Is people look at nanite and think that's going to save and grace for everything, right? But the problem on top of that is also... Are you going to animate the lava? I don't know, maybe. The problem is, there's a lot of stuff that it's not to do with the poly count. Poly count was already not a huge issue anyway. Sure, with nanites, you can have things that are like a billion polygons, and then you can nanite it down, right? But even in UE4, I very rarely got performance loss or a huge performance loss due to poly count. It was draw calls. It was simulations or physics simulations. It was cloth simulations. It was... like skeletal meshes, stuff like that took up way more of my performance when I did a lot of testing in the past, even with my game I'm making at my work at the moment, than actually poly count. So nanites is great for reducing that poly count, poly count, what's the one I'm looking for? Basically how much it's using up in the engine, poly count optimization. But poly count was not really a huge issue to begin with. Now, some people may disagree with that. It really depends on what people are trying to make. If people are trying to make photorealistic scenes with mega scans, I think maybe they'd disagree and say, no, I was having loads of problems with poly count, which makes sense because they're making photorealistic mega scan scenes. I don't. I make stylized, so I won't experience that a lot of the time anyway. I think that's better. It comes down to basically back of view like that. Yeah, it's pretty much in the right spot. What have we got left to model? So I need to model like this part here. Now, the problem here, as we discovered last time, is with this part looking like this, it makes it so it looks like the whole thing is always rotated. Like you can't change it. Is it the yaw? I always get confused. Yaw. Pitch. Pitch? Yeah, I can't change the pitch of it, technically, because this looks like it's completely... I can change the rotation, but I can't change the pitch, because this looks like a solid mesh. So I have to really say to myself, okay, we want it like this. So what I'm actually going to do is, before starting all of that, we're going to make another duplicate. So just in case we want to come back and say, no, we didn't like that. So put it over there. I do this a lot where I'll keep backups in just literally in the scene I'm making. I mean, this will come over to the Unreal Engine anyway. I kind of want to make this bigger again. I think I want it in the Unreal Engine. I could always do it in Marmoset. What's this? Oh. Why is this rotate point so off now? What? The rotate point used to be perfectly in the center. Okay. Yeah. It is nice seeing everyone's everything single brick as 3D Geo in Fortnite when you have nanite on, no POM artifacts or anything. Yeah, yeah. Oh, itchy. It's definitely like a huge improvement. Like I'm not trying to rip into nanites and saying what a useless tool, because it's not. It's like a post I actually made a while ago when UE4 was not even released yet. Let's see if I can find it, and I still stand by it. It was like, oh, I didn't realize someone commented on that. I made a post the other day. I make rants here and there. No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. This one. Okay, so I made a rant. Oh, wow, more than I thought. A while ago, it's a short rant. So I've been seeing a lot of people talking about PS5 and UE5 and then talking about having near to no limitations of what. So this is a year ago of what can now be achieved in the engine. This is great and all. I assume there are still limitations, but then being much more forgiving is always a plus. But I feel people forget that there are artists behind the computer screens getting this work done.
When single asset is made, there are plenty of steps. Some of these steps are faster because this is a really big point as well. Showcasing himself again. I'm just looking at an old post. That's a really good point as well. Is that people seem to forget that optimization didn't just necessarily make it. You needed to do it to make the game more optimized. It also made it easier on the artists. Having to be told texture this asset that's 2,000 polygons versus texture this asset that's 200,000 polygons. Substance Painter is going to load it way slower. ZBrush is going to be a bit slower when you try to exploit everything. Baking it all is going to be slower. Like, it's all going to take more time, and you need to be more detailed when you handle that asset now. So yeah, there's a lot of issues when people were saying, "Oh, UE5 limitless." People have no excuse now. Video game companies have no excuse now. They can make the best game they can imagine. That's not how it works. Greeting from YouTube. Greetings. Oh, I just realized if I scroll up on this, it'll mess up the streams one. Whoops. I should actually get the stream. I should look at that to see it's working. Yeah, I need to move that over to the right anyway. There you go. I need to have a little Twitch symbol there and a little YouTube symbol on the other side so people know what's what. I think you can kind of tell by the way that the text is, but I think it'd be nice to have that difference just so people know. I kind of want to make both of these just a little bit thicker. There you go. Too thin and it's going to just sort of lose detail. You're not going to care about it. So yeah, we need to do that bottom bit now. And I'm really, really unsure how to do it. First thing I'll do is there's a little bit here that I can make. So tackling... I remember there's actually something I guess I got complimented on back when I was applying for jobs. I've only ever had technically one interview, not for this model looks bad ASS. Thanks, man. Looks like a turd when it started. Amazing how it all comes together like that. Yeah, it's the ugly phase. I've said this to people before. I actually said it recently. This needs to be thicker, actually, right? But it's the ugly phase where things look kind of bad when they start and they basically just increase in quality as you go. And sometimes people will judge your work from the ugly phase. And it's like, no, it will look better. Trust me. Yeah, I definitely think it needs to be thicker. So I just basically need to make everything else work around that thickness. That's definitely looking more like the original being a bit thicker. This can be lifted up a little bit now. So the problem is, while I was making it thicker, is I'm going to have all these interior parts that aren't coming out enough now. So if we do that, unhide this. What the heck did I do? Unhide this, reselect this, and then rescale this out. I can pull it. Actually, I kind of want, if I invert that, scale this out a tiny bit more, invert that, scale this out, there you go. To sit just, oh, it's much thicker than that. Let's go back. Scale this out. There you go. It's quite thick. It's a piece of wood, right? So we're actually looking at keeping that relatively thick. Why not just delete the internal faces? Because then I lose this bevel. I could delete them afterwards, but I'm more caring about that bevel that gets spawned in. Because I want to see that bevel. If you look, especially when I turn it into wood, you can actually see all of that stuff coming in. I could actually cut it up into these different planks, which I probably should do. I didn't even think about that. Where's that bit gone? Where is he? There he is. That's fine, that's fine. The interior face on here will be offset now. If I scale that up a little bit more. Wow, that interior one is like really coming in when I do that. Very unfortunate. Do there to there. No, it doesn't work. It's an easier way to select this then if it's doing that. I guess just turn off the subdivision for a second so I can see what I'm doing. What is going on here? Oh, uh-oh. So scaling on normal has messed that up, unfortunately. I didn't even think about that. What if I select the Echo Vertex and relax? No, that does not work.
Oh, it broke this as well. Hold on a minute. Let's delete that. And I made a duplicate for a reason, so we can grab that piece back out. I can't remember how far it was, but I did it on the grid values, so I can just realign it back up on grid. Okay. Right, so instead, I probably just want to scale it outright instead of what I did. So let's go like this and just scale. Now it's a million times better. Pull you guys out so you can. I think they. Oh no, they do just sit off the surface. So we'll just do that. Cool. Now that's looking a bit better. Thicker. Thick. I also, after looking at this now, I think these need to be taller. It's the problem is, the more you look at the concept, the more you'll start changing little bits. True, but often you make the high polys anyway, and when you make materials, you start with material, making the height maps, using height maps for adding geo detail. Yeah, true. But think how much harder it's going to be to also UV map a high poly thing. Imagine getting like a piece of wood with all these grooves in it, and if you look at your unwrap and the grooves just warp the UV too much and stuff like that, I feel like there's going to be a lot of issues that originally will get quite overlooked. Thanks, stuck in my throat. Yeah, this definitely needs to be a little bit taller here. I mean, this is all speculation anyway. Maybe a lot of people will say to me, no, Steve, I have had a perfectly wonderful time using UE4 and this and that. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, it comes down to obviously people's personal preference. And if they're not having any problems, then they're not having any problems. So yeah, there's a decent gap here. It's probably about this much. So I'm going to lift that up, which is fine because this is still sitting on top because there's a bit more room now. And it does need to rotate at some point. The whole thing technically rotates though. So that, oh, wow, it's not very good. So that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, good point with UV mapping. Yeah, it's just like a lot of small things that get overlooked. And I feel sorry for artists, not necessarily myself, because I'm a big boy. I can stand up for myself and say, no, this is going to make it harder. But there are some people out there who are going to be in jobs and they're going to be told, yeah, we're moving to UE5. Make it 5 times more detailed now. And they're going to be sitting there like, but that's 5 times more work. And then the boss goes like, no, it's not. But, oh. Okay, I still want it done in the same time frame. Oh. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's important for people to acknowledge that it can technically be more work. I think this, after doing that, get rid of all this, or this selection, should I say? Get rid of this selection. Come back into here. I think it needs to be even higher. The reason for that, a little bit high. What the heck? Oh, I'm mirroring on that direction too. Hold on a minute. And on that one. Very bad. Okay. Cool. So it needs to be a little bit higher. And the reason is, so I can always bring this part higher anyway. Reason is because I need this a little bit higher off the surface because it's going to have to rotate. And if we look, even that lowest point is raised quite high above it, right? Hiccuping as I'm talking. Get rid of that. Select that. Yes, that's everything. Can I deselect the... So it's slight bit higher there, I'd say. And I noticed this because this guy would be colliding with it. So it needs to be probably around there. There you go. Oh God, these look so tall now, though. And they don't look that tall here. Is it because they're thicker? So if I do... If I scale it on... Well, I don't need to scale it on this way, do I? Or maybe a little bit. Scale it on this way, just a tad. I then need to grab these guys. Yeah, again, this is a problem when making something from concept. You're always trying to make it match it, and you're spending all this extra time. If I just ignored this and it was slightly off... this needs some wheels. If it's slightly off... Lots of people probably won't even notice because they'll just go, wow, that looks cool, and they'll just sort of accept it. But because I'm doing all these little details and I'm trying to make it match the concept a bit closer and closer and closer, it's going to take a little bit extra time to get there. So because that's thicker, that looks more right now. Now, it depends what direction I want to go with, like, where you get cuts in. Now, I could do it all in ZBrush. Or when it comes to the big ones, I could technically make those myself. Like so. Right? And then adjust them in ZBrush to be a bit more unique looking. Like, even now I can adjust it to be slightly off-shaped. But, because if we look, there's actually quite a big chunk there. But I'm wondering if that's the way to go, or if I should just bring it in kind of highish poly to begin with in ZBrush, get those details in. When I bring it out to optimize it, reduce the poly count around areas that don't have extra detailing. Again, I'll decide at some other point. I don't think I need to make the decision right now. Neat trick. When did you... Oh, where did you learn that from? Ah, I made it up myself. I've never learned that from anyone in my life. Did you like... Do you like using the curve clip tool? I actually have no idea what a curve clip tool is in ZBrush. I only use like 5 different tools in ZBrush. I can't even show you now because I don't have a license for it at the moment. But I use a lot of orb brushes. I use quite a few of the orb brushes, which is a free pack. For those of you who have not used this pack or downloaded it, it's completely free. I recommend it. Orb brushes ZBrush. I think it's one of the developers of like World of Warcraft or something. Or Diablo. It looks more Diablo. And he basically gave you all of these away for free. And they're super, super good. I've used Orb. Orb is brilliant. Yeah. So I basically use mostly just these tools. Especially because some of them give you these like big sort of chunk missing bits just by default. You literally click it, drag it up, and it puts it in for you. Yeah. I mostly use that. I don't think I've used the curve clip tool, but maybe that will also work really well too. I am not a super experienced person with ZBrush, admittedly. I know a lot of basics, and I can get by just using the basics. But I do want to clarify, if you're looking for someone who's very experienced with substance, I keep saying different software. With ZBrush, I am not the person. I just think I get by pretty well. DFE style is built on the curve clip tool. Is it actually? Curve clip tool ZBrush. Let's have a look.
Let's continue talking about modifiers. So I'm going to about clip, slice. And
oh, right. So it's like the polygon editing, like sort of tools. Oh, and is he just going to cut it out to cause that little cut? Right. Okay. I mean, that will work pretty well. Right. See, I almost never use the polygon tools in ZBrush. In fact, I don't think I have ever used the polygon tools in ZBrush, because when I want something to that detail, I will usually just do it in Blender, like I just showed, and then bring it in with those details already there, and then basically increase the quality of those details. Like, yeah, true, you'll have to UV. So yeah, the way I do it, I don't have to re-UV afterwards either. If you've experienced the way I do it, it means I don't ever have to re-V. You know what I'm trying to say. Is that how I want it? I don't think so. I think I'm going to do the bevel manually. Not from here. So I think I'm going to do this, which is a pretty chunky one, and I think at the edge. I've changed so much when it comes to like engons and stuff. I am so into engons now. I used to be so against them, and I still agree with some of the points I made when I was super against them. But I definitely feel like engons have their purpose more than I used to think they did. That was a really weird sentence, but you know what I mean. Something like that, if we make it a bit... Ooh, don't want to make it wide. It's like a very common problem people tend to do is they'll make something wider and they'll forget that it's going to make these parts wider. So a better solution is to just select those faces there and pull it and then realign it. That way you've made it longer. How long is this? Not that long. You've made it longer, but you've not destroyed that nice bevel you had. Basically, just a way to be non-destructive with your modeling. I talk like I know what I'm talking about. And that's the most important thing. If you can make people believe you know what you talk about, that's all that matters. I'm a very naughty boy when I edit objects. You should edit your objects in edit mode. When you're in object mode, try your best not to edit the object. The reason for this, and I'll actually show. So let's say we wanted like bevels on this, right? Let's make it a bit smaller, Jesus. We're like, yeah, nice, these bevels. When I go to pull it, we'll have the same effect I kind of said earlier. So scale it. So when I scale it, and it'll pull these things. Now, if I go Control A, that's S, Control A, and we go all transforms, or well, you can technically do scale. It'll fix that issue. So if you remember to constantly reset your scale, you'll be fine. Because what Blender thinks you're trying to do now is it's saying to itself, okay, you've increased the scale of this by 6.3 times, but we're still going to keep the way that those bevels work. However, if I instead scale in edit mode, it doesn't change the overall scale of it, meaning Blender won't think it needs to pull those bevels. So if you do want this effect, obviously change it in, I guess, object mode if you really want. But most of the time, yeah, try to edit as much as you can in edit mode, because you'll come across way few issues. It will also mess up your UV mapping, believe it or not. I wonder if that'll work here. So let's stretch it out. So if we actually keep it like this and then UV map it. So the way you do UV maps out like this is just here, 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 mark seam, come to the UVs, unfold, and you get something like this. Now that's a very good unwrap. That works perfectly. However, if I scale it and unwrap it again, it thinks it's still supposed to be that UV. Because when you're UVing, it will UV on a scale of 111. But I've obviously scaled it up to 10, but it doesn't care about that. So if I, again, were to scale it... Can I undo? Okay. Were to scale it in edit mode instead, and now we unwrap, it will fix all that for us. It knows, oh, it's longer, I need to unwrap it at a longer scale. Boom, done. So, yeah. It's a glitch, not really a glitch, but it's an issue a lot of people have, and they don't realize what's causing it. So I try my best to reiterate the point as much as I can when I'm 3D modeling, because yeah, if one person comes into the stream, you could just apply transforms. Yeah, that's what I was showing. Control A, all transforms. But a lot of people don't know that. I've seen so many people ask me, I've literally got a video on it. Why is this happening? Why is this happening with my UVs? Why is this happening with my mesh? I'm like, you need to apply your transforms, or you need to edit it in edit mode. So yeah, it's just a small tip for anyone who's had that problem before. I'll literally get emails. I'll wake up to emails in the morning of people with that issue asking me, why is the model broken? Yeah, it's basically aligned. That's not me saying I don't want those emails. Just me saying, like, people experience those issues. Maybe one more. Yeah. I'm going to do it in between. Yeah. We want this to go to here. Now, I don't mind if it's not perfectly spaced, because things being slightly offset always looks nicer in stylized anyway. So we'll do something more like that. That's... By my eye, it looks pretty well spaced, but that's just by my eye. To be fair, I think they need to be a little bit closer together anyway. Yeah, that's cool. Cool. Select this. We want to convert to mesh to apply all those modifiers, and then we want to combine it with Control J, and then we want to mirror it on Y. Oh, we want to reset the transform, so the transform will go to the center of the grid. Boom, and it'll mirror it across there. Nice. Okay. We also need to now... So this is too low now. Is this too low now? The spike is very close to it. So I only actually need to raise it either a tiny bit or lower the spike. I think the spike can warrant being a little bit smaller. But I think I'll also slightly raise you up. You raise me up. Yeah. Again, it needs to be very close. It's also more like this. I don't know. The perspective is a little bit weird. This could literally be behind this. Like, this could be technically... Oh, well, I can't really do it. But technically, there's slight rotation, and it could be behind it. So it's hard to actually tell where this lines up on here. You'd think it's near the front if we just went straight up, right? If it hits the underneath, the round part might technically be about here. So you only got, like, a little bit of a distance. Oh, I got the other blender open. Get out of here. So that's technically too far. Now, I could just pull it back and do something more like this. If we look at the concept, does that match up? Again, the perspective is a bit weird. That looks like it's very close, but it might actually be a significant distance away. I think that's fine. We are, from the angle we're looking at, that does give the appearance when you rotate that it is quite close. That looks pretty good. I think that's fine. I just realized we have an asset we got to put here. Look, we've got a little valve. So if you scale in object mode, one transform will change definitely, but if you scale it in edit, it will keep the transform. Yes, yeah. So if I just show you a re-example, watch. If we go to scale something in object mode, boom, it changes that scale. And then again, even when you go to apply a normal bevel, it'll favor it as if it's not supposed to be a free scale, right? If I were to now reduce that to a 1, look, it'll look like it's, whoops, that's not a 1. 1, it will look like it's fine, right? As soon as that scales up, it will stretch that. And then equally, if I instead pull it out normally, it'll sit at 1 scale. When I go bevel, it'll be fine. Again, it's a very small thing. As soon as you realize it's a thing, everyone in the chat's probably sitting there going, what? I already know this, Steve. But it's one of those things that as soon as you know it once, you're fine. And you should always be taught it in university. Like, oh, make sure to apply your scales. I didn't move this. Whoops. Or apply your transforms, or freeze your transforms. Depends what software you're using. They like to call it different things on the software. That's good. Oh. Yeah, talk about the ugly stage earlier. I do find it funny when you're doing the ugly stage of any art, whether it's drawing or it's 3D or anything, because people are very quick to judge your work on the ugly stage, and that's fine. Yo, wait, Blackjack, why did you chop your hair? Wow, I chopped my hair off ages ago. You talk about when I had it long. God, how long ago did I cut that off? That was like a year ago, literally, like a year ago today, if that's what you're referring to. If you mean recently cut it because it's short at the sides, and that was only about 2 months ago. Will this be low poly? I will attempt to keep it low poly, yeah. When you were building the boat. Did you see the finished boat? Hey, Steve showing off his work again. Flying boat. I've been working on making the Simpsons scene. I've also been working on making a game scene. Find love on the new dating site. Whoa. Guys, getting quick. I like how it's not even posting the dating site, though. IDs from channel. I can't believe we had 2 bots today. We hardly ever have bots recently. You saw the fish stick one I had. Ah. Boot. I actually had a lot of problems with this. So, my FPS was like... My FPS is kind of low at the moment because it's Lumen and my card is not a ray tracing card. But... So, it doesn't control Lumen very well. When I had my 3090 Ti, I was getting like 100 frames per second in this scene. But when I went back to my 1080 Ti because I had a problem with my 3090 Ti, I went down to like 5 FPS in the scene when I was full screen. I was like, what is going on? I had something called Shadow Map Beta turned on, and it worked fine on my my ray tracing card, my 3090 Ti, but my 1080 Ti did not like it. So we've got our actually performance back. You've not even seen the inside yet. I would like, it would be nice if we could simulate it. If you actually look at the camera angles, I'll show you the video in a second as well. But I do want to somehow get this out to you guys so you can actually just launch it. Not the UE4 document, but a playable one where you can fly around and actually have a look at the stuff. Because the problem with making a video and making images of it is it's hard to... I can't just put 50 images on my portfolio for one scene. And there's a lot of like randomly detailed parts where I didn't put an image for. Like you've got books here with a candle and stuff, which is kind of cool. But I don't have a single picture that looks directly at this part because it's not hugely detailed. So I didn't see the purpose of causing an image, keeping an image for it. Like back here, we've got this shield hidden away. I don't have an image of that or any video footage of that. So I would like to get this out to you guys so you can actually fly around it, because I think that'd be really cool. Problem is, we're only getting 30 FPS because it's Lumen. So I'm worried I'm going to give it to people and they're going to go, Steve, I can't even play it. Like,
I bet I'm not even at 100%. Yeah, look. 100. Try a bit more. Nice slideshow. Wait, is it actually super slow on this stream? I didn't think of that. Oh, it is. Ah. So the stream has trouble. Maybe it's always... Like, I'm getting 30 FPS. Oh, you can't see it because the thing's in the way. Oh, I won't hide it. I can't bother. I'm actually getting 30 FPS, so it's actually technically on my side working fine. Very nice. Super impressive, as always. Amazing. Wow, damn. Do a Lumen version and then one with... I should. Technically, I've got a UE4 version that is baseline, which ran way better. It's not got... Oh, wow. We're getting slow again. Whoa. We'll turn it down to a lower one so I'm not too... Yeah, it's a good idea, Flynn. I should do that. Problem is, I was waiting for a Lumen because UE5 was saying about making Lumen possible to be baked. And I was like, when he introduced that, I could just make it both. I could just do a baked version and an unbaked version. But unfortunately, they haven't... I thought they was going to release it in 5.1, but they didn't, so... yeah, like I've got detail under here. Like, you can get close to the carpet. You've got all this, like, extra detailing on it. Obviously, it gets a little too... You lose a bit too much. It's got a parallax effect, which you can see when you're too close. Yeah. So we've got all this stuff that I actually don't have. And like I said, I did a slideshow? Freaking moderate saying slideshow. I did a video of it, cinematic video. And I could actually show you the camera points in there, but I'd rather just show you the actual video. I'm not even against talking about the scene and quote unquote showing it off because it took me a year to make. I don't feel bad. In no way was I super fast making this scene. Wow, can it? Are you good, YouTube? There you go. So there is actually music on it. Let's pause what I got and play it. It is free music. There's no copyright. Yeah. Don't worry. As a YouTuber, you get like a whole library of copyright-free stuff. As long as you take music from there, you're fine. At least you should be. If I got copyright, I'd be well known at YouTube. It's about you literally gave me this as a copyright-free thing. But I really like this music. I was like looking at loads of songs for it, and I was like, I really like piano music anyway. But when it's a quiet scene, I just think piano music works really well because it's kind of makes it feel emotional when you're watching it, even if it's not. But it makes you look at some of these smaller aspects when you're thinking sort of a more emotional mindset. Like, oh, what was this about? Like, why is this here? Why are there cobwebs? Why has she been cleaning it as much? Because she was upstairs, she's still around. Why is there an empty mess hall with clearly some eating food, but where is everybody else? Like, it keeps you thinking about what's happening in the scene when it's sort of more of a emotional music being played. At least I feel like it does. I think one thing I'm really missing in this scene is I really wanted a cool background where you can maybe see like a vast city or something. But I never got around to doing that, so that was my Facebook. That plant industry was an idea from Wally? It was not.
I've never actually watched Wall-E. I just thought, look at all these video recommendations. Ignore the ASMR stuff. You should make it collide with a skyberg. I was about to say, don't you mean iceberg? I just realized what you did. At the end, then fall out of the sky and explode, killing everyone on board. So the one person on board. But yeah, that was the last scene I made. I'm making the Simpsons now scene, but that's not really getting anywhere at the moment because I'm kind of struggling now that I've sort of back to a non-ray tracing card. Because a lot of the reflection stuff just don't work very well. I'll be ending the stream at past, by the way, guys. So, 25 minutes left. Let's do the handles on this. So it actually comes down to here, which makes sense. That lines up to about here. Yeah, that's pretty good. That lines up well enough that I'm not too fussed. What I can do here, if I want, is separate this out. So when you can, I've said this loads of times before. Hold on a minute. That's not what I want to do. I want to duplicate first. When you can, duplicate. Try to replicate stuff. Because lots, when I convert this now, and I've got like this shape I want, I can now say, okay, let's go to a perfect side angle. I said, okay, I want to have, so we want it to connect to here. I want to cut it here. And I want to invert, delete everything else off. And I want to select this, and then I want to extrude on the normals. And boom, we've got that little handle already. It saved me a bunch of time doing that, because now I don't have to worry about getting it perfectly aligned, because I just use the existing shape. One thing I want to change actually after doing that, so I think it needs to come up to about here. Yeah, it's actually quite high. But that's a pro tip for you. Try to reuse what your mesh already has, because it will save you a bunch of time in the long run. Probably a little bit more. It's quite thick. Oh, I say that. I made it this high, but it's more that it's thick, that it's sort of giving that illusion. Don't worry about the way it's not sharpened. We can just go boom. Boom. I think when it comes to 3D, there's a lot of like imagining what it's going to look like, and you'll work with it without having that representation for a while. And then when you smooth it or something, you're like, boom, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Like you kind of get to the point as you're making it look that way. That's a really weird sentence, but really hard to explain. It's very hard to explain. Yeah, it's like you're not at the end result for a while, but you kind of work at it like you are there. And then when you just click apply to all your modifiers, boom, you'll get like the end result. That works. This definitely needs a little bit pulling out. You know what I need to catch on up on today? Chainsaw Man. Might watch that after the stream, after dinner. I've got quite a few things to do today, actually. I had the dog sit earlier today. That was interesting. Bit of bevel on that. It should give us... Like there, for example. I have a directed accident that you did on purpose, kind of, sort of, not really. Like that. I already thought to myself, I'm going to bevel this in a minute. So I'm making things just aligned right outside of the edge, because you'll get this bevel apply for you. And I was thinking about that as I was doing it. So you see that? Now we've got this like bevel. Makes it look like it's a separate object. Problem here. I think I need to grab you. Do another one. Make sure it's definitely flat here. This part should have also been flat, I think. Yeah, like that. Same with this one. I need to grab both of them, do a bevel, do an inside face like that. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. I think it needs to actually be a bit thinner too. It needs to line up with here, so that's fine. Ooh, a little bit thicker than that though. Yeah, that's looking more like what we want. I need the little handles that go here and here. Again, I probably should make this part... Oh, so first of all, something I definitely didn't think about is it gets thinner here, so I can pull this down to like be pinched in. There you go. That part's fine. And then I can come around it. So where has this happened? It happens like just above it. a bit below it like that. That's 1, 2, 3 in a gap. So hopefully that would be aligned. 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3, and then select. 1, 2, 3, select. Now this might not be perfectly aligned. We're just hoping it is. 1, 2, 3, select. 1, 2, 3, select. Oh, select. 1, 2, 3, select. 1, 2, 3, select. 1, 2, 3, select. 1, 2, 3, select. Boom. So I can actually I can press V on these. Can I bridge them or grid fill them? Weird. This isn't gonna work. This is not gonna work. Wait, did I not? What did I just do? I did do grid fill. That didn't work? No. So if I press V on them and I separate them out, I can then come into here. Can I grid fill here? Wow, it doesn't have any grid fill here. Fine, I'll do a bridge. Okay, what's going on? Oh, right. I don't have those extra faces on here. Technically those faces can be deleted, but for now, I think I'll put them in. Just so it makes doing this easier. So when I separate these out, we'll actually be able to separate out those wood parts, because if you actually look at the concept, they are separate pieces. Now, I don't know how connected they look like, but because of the way I've done it, they're going to be perfectly aligned with each other anyway, so you're probably not going to notice. So what I should have done before separating them out was create these. Now I've got to go through all of them, because I could have just done it one of them, and it would have done all of them, because it'd been one shape, obviously. But because I've separated them out, I have to go and do all 5 of them. There you go. I'll select every other, because I'll actually be able to see what I'm doing. This, and we're gonna grid fill. Yes, grid fill. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it because I've got that selected? It is. Wow. Okay. That actually is being selected towards that issue. Why is that? Cool. And then we want to basically do the reverse. And, ooh. And we want to fill in these ones. Oh, bugger. That one's already filled. I've just hidden it. Hold on a minute. I've selected the wrong ones. Those aren't selected. This one, this one, this one, this one. That one already did at the start. It's fine. Grid fill. Grid fill. Grid fill. Grid fill. Grid fill. Grid fill. Now, I could have technically done that using normal maps, but I definitely think it will look better not using normal maps for this. We put it at 2. There you go. Now, when we have it in engine, we can start... Or when we have it in substance... ZBrush, there you go. When we have it in ZBrush, we can start adding those details. Oh, that's floating off the surface. That's very interesting. Is that because I increased the size earlier? Probably. So you perfectly space that apart and then bring it in. Yeah. That's what I'm looking for. Cool. Sweet. Sweet. That's looking pretty good. Do you think this needs to be thicker? The more I'm looking at it, the more I'm like, ooh, thick. I'm not sure. We'll leave it for now. Hello. Unfortunately, a person's name I can't pronounce. So here, we definitely use a mirror here. I'm probably going to use a cube. I like how the last comment in Twitch was, looks like brain. Looks like a brain. And no one said anything since. Too scared to say anything after that comment. Mirror, hopefully. Why am I... Oh, that's fine. That direction? That direction? Hold on a minute, what? There you go. So pull that up to here, pull up to here. We're going to delete the top. Because we're basically just going to use this as a pipe. Steve, what's causes artifacts or shadow on baked normal textures? Lots of different things. I assume when you say artifacts on shadows, you mean like artifacts on the ambient occlusion, right? That could be the high poly not being set in the right location when you're baking. That could be UV maps not being
placed correctly. Translation, hi Steve. Oh, hello. Thank you very much for the translation. Come from the back. There you go. In fact, I should really be isolating this so I can see what I'm doing. How many polys are we on at the moment with the whole asset? Because again, we're going to be, like here, looking at this, that's obviously going to be optimized quite a lot. I've got it high poly. When I bring it into ZBrush, I don't need to do too much subdividing. Or at least it will have an equal space subdivision. It's more. So it's hard to really say the poly count right now, but I'm curious, without any optimization, what the poly count is for the whole thing. So it's... a billion? That doesn't sound right. Hold on a minute. There you go. 13,000. Is that it? Oh my god. I've made spheres or like organic shapes that look lower poly than this. That's more than 13,000. That's pretty good. What is causing the... Hold on a minute. Oh no, that... Am I dumb? I swear that said like a billion. Did it not? Oh, here. 4... How high poly did I make this skull? What? What? I'm getting more confused now. Look at the triangles. Trillion? Million, billion, 18 trillion. Is Blender trolling me? Wait, is it this? It's this. What over here is like... Huh? 17. Blender's trolling me. Now it's only 600,000. I feel like I'm being stupid. Wait, use ZBrush, man. Don't worry, I'm going to use ZBrush at some point. I'll read what you said fully, because I may have missed something there. The chat went a bit faster than I was hoping. So what is this medieval style gun? Cool, but use ZBrush, man. I'll use ZBrush when I've got all the basic shape made. Which is what we're doing now. It should look really cool when I'm done. Hopefully it'll look really cool when I'm done. Can't remember what's called in ZBrush. Been years. You can take two meshes and it will... Oh, you talk about Dynamesh. 1, 2, form one shape. So they thought it... So my thought is you could just model your low poly, then copy it. And then Dynamesh and morph. Then you don't have to have high poly mesh and you get to... Yeah, true. Show a sub-D part of the mesh, for example, please. Like this part. What about over here? You want to like wireframe? Oh, does it not show you? I mean, this will be optimized heavily when I'm done. Is that what we see? This part doesn't even have a sub-D at the moment. What am I doing over here? I think this needs to be a little bit bigger. So I wanna isolate. There you go. Not called isolate in Blender. I think it's just called hide because you press the H key, so I assume it's hide. Pull that over to here. I kind of want it on a flat bit just because it'd be easier to model the little circular thing I want to do. So pull that into there. Technically, I don't need to do that. Technically, I could. First, we'll do that. Rotate that. Do duplicate. Scale that a little bit. Bring it out. Yeah, she modeling is sub. Yeah, I am. I'm modeling in sub D mostly. Like this. Like this is a cube, but subdivided. Like boom, 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 boom. I like modeling in sub D. Down on that. Both of you, and I should be able to just pull you in. Kind of a bodge job way to do it, but it works. Cool. I'll do a quick bevel on that. Do I want a bevel on that? Yeah, I need a bevel on that. Cool. Now on here, it bends quite a lot. Let's unhide this. Grab you. Wait. Oh, it is a line. That's fine. And then we want this to come down
Wow. I feel like it's too high, right? Am I crazy? Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Look how high it actually is. It does go quite far. I think it might just need to be thicker to make it look right. Yeah, maybe like that. This part goes in the opposite direction like this, bends downwards. And this part, mirroring is off-center. That's fine, I just need to do this. This part comes here, then it goes into like a flat shape. As it connects to this, it goes like to here. It comes to here. It comes in, like so. I can then undo, pull you down like that. I also technically probably want, so first of all, if I bevel that, we get a much flatter shape here. Pull that up, be a tad to about there. Yes, that's looking pretty good. Probably want this part to be like this. This part to be a little less, like a little more like it transitions into a flat piece. That, there you go. Cool. Now the problem here is I want this part to be sharp, so I kind of want to do something like this. Kind of. Not sure. Because then what if I merge center on these guys? Pretty good, pretty good. Also, I shouldn't have hit that actually. I also want to grab these guys. We out like this, which means I need to realign this. Like so. Yes, it's exactly what I'm looking for. Definitely needs to be a bit thinner. Then it's just same on the bottom part where I select you, or you, do this. Grab these parts here. Let's center. Why did I choose programming? I could be making a medieval canon thingy and not getting caught in infinite loops. You could. You could have been doing that. But you chose to do the boring job. Haha. That looks pretty good. My problem is this part here definitely needs to be sort of pinched in some way. Just like this. Is that what? Oh, that works. That works way better than I thought it was going to. I think I need another bevel. Need something here. Oh, I can't because I made it subdivided in a really weird way now. What if I grab you then instead? Like we put another one in here. Grab you. We pull you down. Not quite what I'm looking for. I mean, I think that's close to what we want, to be fair. This actually needs to go a little bit forward. Cool. Don't do both. As much as people like giving that advice, I actually think it's terrible advice because you get stuck in a loop of should I be doing this, should I be doing that? I don't think I've known a single example of a friend who's tried to do both and not eventually just gone, oh, I just picked this in the end. I don't know why I didn't pick it from the start. If you're capable of doing both, I guess. It's fun, but does it pay the bills? I guess it depends on the priority of why you're doing it. If you're just doing it for fun, go for it. Maybe I'll do this, pull this up. I won't do it symmetrical. Here was definitely interesting, because I feel like maybe I need to pull this up to here. Yeah. There was something actually someone said at my work not long ago, right? They're talking about how they prefer the way that the Americans do their education system. And I really dislike the way that the Americans do their educational system. I think it's really, really weird. And they do it so you basically pick... how many was it? My problem is that is not what I want to do, but it's not that I want to do both, it's that I want to do both and music and digital drawing, and I also a bunch of other non-game dev related substitutes. Yeah, and it's like in America, you get to study several things at once, right? You get to study, do not forget about daily physical jerks for I. I've just read a thought now. Yeah, in America, you get to do tons of different minors. You get 2 majors and like 4 minors or something like that, 5 minors. So you get to study 4 to 5 different things. Well, wait, no, that's more. 2 plus 5. You get to study maybe up to 7 different things. And actually, someone at my job was like, yeah, I wish we had that. And I was like, oh, you got 2 majors. In England, or the UK, I think, you just do a course. My course was was games modeling and animation. Everything I studied was games modeling and animation. It was very specific. That's all you did. I prefer that because I'm studying for one thing. I'm learning one thing. That's what I want. However, my someone I work with was saying no, she would have preferred having the 5 or 7 different things to study because she would have been able to broaden what she knew more and be able to pick what she wants to do more out of university. And maybe that's fine for certain subjects. I mean, I struggled like hell out of university to even get a job. So I think if I had a decision of doing that, I'd be way less further than I am now because I wouldn't be close. I would have spent all that time learning 5 to 7 different things instead of just one thing. I don't typically mind the coding, but what the hell? Why is uni like that? The system is made to fail us, Steve. Yeah, I mean... They made me study law in my game dev course. I hated it. Oh, see, stuff like that's really annoying. It's what I mean. But like my friend was basically saying she liked the idea of that. That she liked the idea of being able to, that she would be studying lots of different things. And I was just like, nah. So nah, I don't like the sound of that. That sounds awful to me. I would have hated to do that. Just straight up. I would just hated it. Because, again, to me, it just feels like a waste of time. And this is obviously an opinionated thing at the end of the day. I'm not saying, oh, everyone should think this way, because it's whatever you want to do. If you want to study lots of different things, that's on you. It's just for me, personally, I don't like the idea of that at all. But I think it comes down a lot to if you are... No. Damn it. Hyper-NT? Hypant? I think it comes down to a lot if you have made a strong enough decision when going into university of what you want to do. For people who haven't, it makes sense, I guess, to why they would want to do lots of different things, right? Whereas if you've made a complete decision, you're forced to do another major and some minors, it's like, like you're forced to study something you may not be interested in. Interested in. No, wait. Oh, whoa. Is this slightly shaped differently over here? That's interesting. I think I may have squeezed it in more as it came to there. Hola, Leo. I will be having dinner very, very soon. I'm just waiting to be called for it. That's right, I get called for my din-dins. Let's see, do I just want to go slap and put that on like that? And then go... And then go... And then go, there you go. Boom, and pull this in till it looks like it's completely connected to it. Problem with that is it looks a bit weird now, so I could always do something like this. Now we've got these on it. That works fine, I think. Again, we'll do another duplicate. I don't even know why this was there. It looks really weird. Same with this one I'm about to put in here. There's one that sits like right here, basically. Oh god, I'm so far away from it. It doesn't sit here. It's just like way up. Like it's not actually screwed into anything. Or whatever this is. I don't know if this is necessarily a screw, but...
Now, this can be done as just a texture, admittedly. I don't have to do this as physical mesh. Yeah, that works. Actually comes more like here. Maybe I should change that. I don't mind where it is right now, though. So what's cooking? Hey, what are you cooking? I'm cooking a cannon. And we're almost done with the low poly. I keep saying we're going to finish the low poly in this stream, and then I keep getting distracted and not finish it. I did game art at uni, which had multiple bits: character art, environment art, concept art, and team project. Luckily, got a job straight away afterwards. Ah, man, you must be really good. As I've said to people before, it took me 6 years to get a job after university, and I still, to this day, well, I technically had one interview for an ArcViz company. So, but if I were to ignore that, to this day, have not had a single interview. The job I got now, I didn't really have an interview for. My boss saw my stream and liked me and just gave me the job. But I've probably applied for over 200 arts jobs, and I've had no interviews. 0. Especially for art. If we do include the ArcViz one, the ArcViz isn't a art job. So, yeah, I've applied probably for over 200 games companies or games jobs, and I've had 0. I have a few months left to decide whether I want to do computer science, more 3D related stuff. You make props for AAA games. Man, you guys are all working in companies. What the heck? Why does everyone else find it so easy? Are you guys just really good? I have a few months left to decide whether, more 3D related stuff or specific game programming as a bachelor's after making a 2-year art degree. I still don't know. Okay. Didn't you get a video interview once? A video interview? Like a call on... Well, I got it... Technically, I got a video interview with my job, but when I got the call, he basically just said, we want you for the company. I liked your stream. Oh, yeah. I worked on a video. That was just some freelance. They just sponsored my video. I technically got an interview for... No, sorry. I didn't technically get an interview for my company because basically he just said, you have the job here waiting for you if you want it. There was no interview stage. There was just, here's a job. Take it or leave it kind of scenario. So it's hard to really call that specifically a interview. But I don't know how people do it. People come into the chat and ask me for advice. Oh, Steve, what's your advice on getting a job? I don't know. It took me so long to get a job. Any advice I feel like I give is invalid because See, this definitely needs to be way wider, but I don't know in what way at the bottom. We'll decide that next stream because I do need to come off. Yeah, I don't know how to give advice on getting a job because I struggled so hard. Like, how am I supposed to tell someone, just do this when it didn't work for me? Just make a portfolio with a variety of different stuff. That didn't work for me. Try to detail your portfolio around a specific genre, area of art. That didn't work for me. Connect with as many people on LinkedIn. That didn't work for me. Like, nothing seemed to work for me. So it's really hard for me to actually give advice on ever when it comes to trying to tell people how to get a 3D art job because nothing seemed to work for me. You work at a studio. I do now, yeah. I work at a studio. I work at Psycho Hound in the UK. I work from home. I'm technically a lead artist. I say technically because there's only one other artist, but I lead him. But my job title is lead artist. When we get freelancers in, I lead them as well. Yeah, so it's just... I don't know. It's a bit of a difficult one, you know? I just don't... I feel like my advice feels invalid because I had so much trouble finding work and nothing seemed to work for me. Like, the only thing that technically worked for me was streaming. The only reason I got my job now is because my boss saw me streaming, which I think is best for indies. Just Unity or Unreal, to be honest. Either's fine. Like, if your company's more... I always say if the game's more based around programming or to get programmers to just be better at what they're doing, use Unity. I don't think I've met many programmers who say they prefer Unreal programming versus Unity. I don't know if that's a C++ versus C# thing or what, but yeah, most of them say they prefer Unity. But if it's going to be more art-based, Unreal is way more intuitive for an artist, in my opinion, than Unreal Engine. But admittedly, I've met people online and stuff who agree to that sentiment, that one is better for programmers while one is better for artists. At least, it's not necessarily better, it's just more intuitive for one or the other. Advark Swift, good one.
Good one. I've been a part of Advark Swift for 6 years, and they basically deactivated my account because the person who was supposed to help me find a job quit, and then my account became in a limbo where they couldn't do anything with it. And then they said they fixed it, and I've had not a contact back since. So, not to put down Advark Swift, if you've had a good time, didn't work for me. Take a gig in a college show, then make a course on Blender, make a simple thing for them to follow. I'd like to. I've applied to try to be a teacher in colleges. I couldn't get that job either. I was the second in line to get a job, and they picked the other guy picked the other guy before me. I actually, being a friendly person, kind of kicked me in the butt on that one, because the person who ran the year. Yeah, Unreal was pretty good for indie games, but Unreal was also very good for AAA title. Like, yeah, man. It's really good for AAA titles as well, because I've seen plenty of AAA games. Like Remnant is one that first comes to mind. Remnant from the Ashes, amazing game. But yeah, I just realized I said coming. I didn't mute my I muted this mic. Whoops. Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know if it was just a lot of bad luck, and maybe a lot of things I just said is good. Cater your art station or your portfolio to one specific thing. Keep your portfolio up to date, because none of these things worked for me, but maybe I just got really unlucky. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a terrible artist and people just didn't think I was worth hiring me. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I will be streaming probably next Friday. That's usually when I stream. And if I feel like I want to stream during the week, I will usually pop out a little message on my stream to say I'm going to be streaming in like an hour or so. On my Discord, sorry. So yeah, I'll catch you guys on Friday. Bye-bye. Boop. And